Alright, hopefully I'm not muted. But hello, ladies and gentlemen. Atsukai here, bringing to you another day. Well, the quarterfinals of the APAC um, region tournament? I don't know. Um, let's just call it. I'm looking at the Conqueror's Blade devs here, and they say APAC region quarterfinals. Tonight, we have YYY versus MKT, and then following that, we have AP versus TLDR. Nevertheless, I do hope we get to see some excellent battles. Quickly, we are going to go have a look at pick bands for YYY and MKT. It's a little bit cut off, that's just the image that I was given. Looks like YYY rolled a 3 and MKT rolled a 2. So YYY should have the ban first, and MKT should ban second. Then YYY gets to choose. MKT gets to choose. Doesn't really matter which one's doing. YYY bans Wolford. MKT bans Daisuo, with YYY choosing Heilong Fjord to attack and MKT choosing Kuruk Castle to attack. So obviously here in the quarterfinals we have best of 5. So 2 battles we fought on Heilong Fjord, 2 battles on Kuruk Castle. If it does come down to a field battle, it will be Grassland Assault. But we can suspect that it will probably be a minimum of 3 battles. Could be longer, but it's highly doubtful that they will go for a field battle. Nevertheless, we're on to the pick ban phase. YYY surprisingly bans out Sunward, not Sunway. I keep calling it Sunway for some reason. Sunward, Phalanx, Matelators. I don't know why they have the name Matelators here when they should have been renamed to Falconetti Gunners already. And Wu Wei Mansion Guards, safe picking the Zycelian Militia. MKT bands as Zwanji Heavy Cavalry, Halberdier Sergeants, and Imperial Pike Guards. MKT doesn't choose anyone to save, so that's really surprising. But nevertheless, very interesting picks. 3 of them I think are really, really interesting. The Sunward Phalanx, the Zwanji Heavy Cavalry, and the Imperial Pike Guard. Very interesting. Although the Metalator and Wu Wei are a bit contentious, I think the Halberdier Sergeants is also a little bit strange, but nevertheless, we should be heading towards the first battle on Heilong Fjord with YYY attacking. Hopefully everyone can enjoy this battle. Battle did start, so we're just waiting to get in. Hopefully we get in soon. Here we go. First battle on Heilong Fjord between YYY and MKT. Does look like the developers have a very fancy look at Heilong Fjord in its entirety. I do like the image that I'm seeing, but you could also go to the Conqueror's Blade devs if you want to go check that out. We do have Morgan Rat and Leon commentating for today. Nevertheless, let's take a look at the lineup. Plenty of cavalry, as can be expected, without the usage of the phalanx. I think cavalry should be a menace here. Look at the numbers, though. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9 Yanudao cavalry coming out. We have 1, 2, 3 winged hussars, 2, oh, well, no, 1 cataphract, and 1 heavy prefecture cavalry. Not to mention, not a lot of anti-cavalry coming out for YYY. This could be a surprise. Let's see what's going to happen. Obi-Wan Kenobi. They're not happening concurrently. The TLDR battle will happen after this. It starts at around about 9, I believe. So right now it is the YYY versus MKT. So you don't have to worry about missing it. right now. Everyone's just streaming the same thing because there's only one thing to stream. Switching over to the B side. Are they going to come out in force by the looks of it? They did choose a lot of the cavalry to be deployed. Here they come. I'll be honest, halberdiers are not going to be able to survive this. Oh, did they just run out of steam as they arrived? Doing their best. Yanyudals did die, but got the halberdiers and thing just got swept up. Ooh, I didn't realize this so soon as well. With all the cavalry switching over, we have just a contingent here of MKT holding that kind of strange doorway. Got Rattan Pikemen on the A point right now. The Medals moved down, but I think those Iron Reapers are going to make short work. Whoa, never mind. More Iron Reapers and Claymores rock up. Iron Reapers still kind of chewing away there. Another set of Iron Reapers also rock up. But the cavalry is about to come back. We got Medals at the front, but how long can they hold against the storm of cavalry just bowling through them? Not to mention I didn't see the Lancelots right on top of the Medals. The Yanyudao cavalry is just the sheer mass is just unstoppable as they just steamroll right through YYY's forces. Finishing off that A push, I think we also have a kind of another desperate push from YYY here on the B side. It is very fascinating, but just look how much cavalry died here. I will be honest, I can't tell who's winning, but I'm thinking MKT's winning. That cavalry mass, you'd be surprised that. Okay, no, I'm just gonna say it. I think MKT is winning. MKT should be winning. The amount of cavalry that they did choose does lower their numbers quite a bit. Now, the thing here is that MKT might not even be going for a defense style play. They're going for attrition. So they're going to give up points and aim to kill the units that they can. Good strategy. I've not seen a strategy like this. They want to just take as many fights as they can before they reach the final point where they have to all in it. This avoids a lot of the pitfalls that defenders have to deal with, such as the resource difference. Not really. They have the C point section. If they don't retreat all the way to the base point, they could actually fight on the ground and avoid most of the artillery. As long as YYY tries to, well, maybe if they do choose a hard defense here. I'm not sure how much cavalry they probably have left. Let's take a look real quick. Because YYY is like completely down a unit. Like there is no doubt about it that like a third of YYY's potential is gone at the very least, if not a little bit more because of tier difference. Surprisingly, MKT is only up by 5 units, and that's assuming that the units that they do have are maxed. It's actually not that good for them. MKT Gomos also has a half-dead unit there, so he's probably actually down 2 units in retrospect. You do make a good point. Having more tier 4 units does help with a third push. But that's only just a little bit. Only just a little bit. Did sacrifice a couple of things. MKT goes on the heavy offensive with just the counter mortar. YYY is not ready for this attack just yet, but there's 10 whole minutes. We could see 2 major battles for the base point on Hailong Fjord. Yes, of course, I will stream all of the battles. It's nice to see some banner guards come out. Does look like teams are picking up banner guards for that 50% defense increase for 15 seconds. Might actually have a use for the charge. But MKT is on the counter-offensive, but now caught on three ways. We've got Lancelots versus Lancelots here. Whoa! Fortibratio's walk straight in, gets instantly deleted. We also have Shenji just throwing out a grenade. Not sure if it was very effective. Now the forces from YYY start a counterattack. The Lancelots barely holding on against the Yan Yudaos here. Just a massive melee here at the front. Both the ISGs are holding strong, but looks like YYY does win out in the end, surrounding that force. Unfortunately, it does look bad for YYY. Sorry, MKT looks bad for MKT, losing out more units than YYY did. YYY has units to spare as the supply point gets locked up. All of the heroes have basically fallen. We've only got 4 on the field, sorry, and more of them dying every second. YYY is just straight on to the base point. Reinforcements are spawning in. The push was probably ill-advised. Got plenty of time left. MKT probably thought they had the advantage, but it does look like they didn't have as big advantage as I thought they did. But here comes the Wing to Start charge. Doesn't make it all the way through. Unfortunately, gets stopped by companion cavalries, trading off. Just a sea of cavalry right now. Just 3 companion cavalries out on the field. Makes it look like there's a ton. Heavy prefectures go straight through, but it doesn't look like they had that much effect. Good opening now from the Wing to Stars. Yan Yudao's trying to push through, but surprisingly gets taken out by the Fortibratios. Fortibratios are a very good alternative from the Sunward's phalanx. I don't believe throwing your lives away like this will be able to get your point back, but unfortunately, YYY takes the victory. Starting off fairly good for MKT at the start there, but dropping the ball as they push back. YYY surprisingly picking up a lot more kills than I thought they would. But then again, I thought MKT would have probably picked up a little bit more after the first fight. First fight actually ended up more even than I expected, probably from just the key anti-cavalry units that allowed them to beat out quite a few of the cavalry. Even if it was just a 1-to-1, the anti-cav units were obviously of lower tier, so you had the Fortibratios, you had the Halberdiers, probably killing off just enough to make the Yan Yudaos think twice before countering them. Also, the contingent defending A got defeated really fast before the cavalry made it. I think if they waited for the cavalry to push in before going in for the counterattack, I think the timing could have been better. Even if they were not going to even if they weren't going to defend A or B, they could have tried to preserve their lives a little bit better. Big mistake, obviously, with the counterattack happening at the intersection towards the supply point after C. I do believe that that was their fatal mistake. As you can see, just heavy losses as the battle continued on. YYY winning out at the very end. There was still 8 minutes to go as well, so it's not like there was barely any time left. I think MKT could have taken the slow road if they thought they could not gain an advantage, but the aggressiveness did backfire. taking a quick look, we do see a lot of heavies. Surprisingly, Nodachis also coming out, just two of them. I do find Nodachis pretty fun, but obviously, the kill potential on NKT it does look a little bit low. Normally when we see not unit selection. Normally when we see hero selections, normally the team with more mediums and lights have a much better kill potential. From YYY, the kill potential does only seem to be slightly higher, probably at least half the team going for heavies, and probably the other half, definitely mediums or lights. MKT probably switched off to heavy in order to just double up the staying power, but this does not look good. When you go for a kill, when you go for a kill, team, you really want to also have your heroes be in the style of kills. Well, if you want to kill the enemy, kill the heroes. In CBL, you only got 2 respawns. So you want to go for classes that are really good at one-shotting the enemy. I know Polearm's got a really good choke, but not a lot of times does that Polearm, especially in the CBL setting, has the potential to kill off the heroes. We're probably thinking Spear is a really good choice for one-shotting heroes. Their horse abilities makes them also a very good for cavalry meta. I mean, cavalry setups. We also have Jewel Blade and Chain Dart, both assassin-style classes. Really good, in fact. Obviously, the Chain Dart has the combo, which makes it almost impossible to fight back one-on-one. The Jewel Blade also has a doctrine that increases its ambush by 40% or something. Oh, it can be like that. Some people don't have experience commentating, and when you don't play the game, you just don't know what to talk about, or you don't think about it. Like there are definitely people that like play the game and don't think about what's happening, and they just think, "Oh, it's cool." Oh, yeah. Morgan Rat has he's he's definitely the guy to bring if you want energy. Next time let me commentate with you. You want to commentate with me? Come. I'm on Discord. Just say hi. There's no delay for today, mainly because I'm not streaming live. Last time I was streaming live because they invited me to commentate on the main channel, but because of technical difficulties, that didn't happen. Alrighty, we're on to the second battle between YYY and MKT. This time, MKT is going to be attacking. Let's see if they go with a cavalry setup again. One of the most terrifying things is that the very first time Heilong Fjord was played in a CBL setting, the Asia teams did barely had any experience with Heilong Fjord in the higher tiers, so they didn't know that cavalry couldn't get onto the sea point. Observer mode is 3 minutes behind. So the mode I'm using right now is 3 minutes behind. They are taking place very, yeah. So this has inbuilt delay. I had to put on delay because I was a spectator last time. That's why I wasn't allowed to stream live. Well, yeah, I shouldn't stream live. Every game has a lot of nuances which players will eventually just get annoyed at. You can't like everything. it would be silly to just say, oh, this is the greatest game in the world and just like everything. We are all subjective, judgmental creatures. We will like particular things and we will argue for days just because we don't like the other guy's opinion. Alrighty, MKT looks like to be building a bunch of artilleries. What do we see? One mortar. Two mortars, three mortars. Whoa! We also have a longbow being deployed by YYY. It's very fascinating to see. I keep forgetting to open this up at the beginning of the battle. It does look like a natural unit deficit of... Wow, if I could do math correctly, real fast. 760 to 690. About a 70 unit difference in the higher tiers. So a lot of more tier 3 units we're probably going to have to watch out for MKT. I mean, sorry, from YYY. MKT is going to have to deal with that somehow. Battering ram makes it towards the door, bursts it open. Love to see Claymores out on the field. Probably a really good support unit. The unfortunate thing here is that when you use the Claymores, everyone uses For Freedom into their abilities, and they have a really strong buff. Gives allies like something like 20% melee damage resistance. Also, well, I don't know. I'm not sure if it heals allies anymore. It used to heal something like 50 or something to allied units or something, and that was tripled when it was used with For Freedom. Now, we do have a strange surf contingent kind of baiting the front gate here. I mean, sorry, the wall break here. Main contingent moves through the front gate. Very strange that no one's blocking this stairs straight for the Shenji. MKT moves straight onto the base, moves straight onto the A point here with a mass of cavalry. Fortebraccio gets completely overrun. Just look at the mass of cavalry. It does look like someone picked up the flag right now. Going for the reset on the charge. MKT, instead of waiting for YYY to counterattack, they just go straight on them. Interesting to also see some Chevaliers. I'm not sure if I saw... Are they Cordelia Chevaliers? That's really interesting. YYY is not holding even in the slightest as the cavalry just overwhelms them completely. Good pickup from MKT. I think YYY overstayed their welcome after getting beaten that hard. Looks like an Iron Reaper did it rock up, or was that just a leftover? Oh! Friendly fire, I thought for a second, but no, it is one of the pikes that went onto MKT's artillery and used it against them. Very cool to see some of those things, but unfortunately, I don't think he picked up very much. Now, this is kind of the same position that MKT kind of had before. Got a good pickup with the cavalry, but let's see if they can carry that home. With the A and the B point captured, let's see. I don't think YYY will defend the C point. Very rare for the C point to be defended. That's unfortunate. Obi-Wan Kenobi. The thing I don't like about this game is that it doesn't have that excitement anymore. TW is shit. Like, they should make it fair. Each TW have only 30 max defenders and 40 max attackers. The worst is the abuse of thieves. I don't play TWs very much. I think TW is a failed system, mostly because it just doesn't have the ability to be fair. It wants numbers to matter, and it wants to have a lot of dynamics. Unfortunately, each of those dynamics just makes it more difficult for players to not find abuse. Players will abuse any system they can. Like, Oh, you say this is an exploit, this is a bug? Nah, it's 100% intended. I'll tell you right now, the the Sunward Phalanx, you can abuse by pressing the roaming brace and V. You can do that as fast as you can, and you will be dealing more damage than if you just leave them in brace. Is that a bug? Is that no? Is that an exploit? Yeah. Also, instant brace. You try to brace the Sunward Phalanx, and you press the V, they will instantly brace. Exploit is normal. Oh, come on. Exploit normal? If the developers thought that if the developers knew about the exploit, do you think it wouldn't seem like it like every single bug or exploit has definitely been an oversight that the developers either didn't understand or didn't know existed. I mean, how long ago was the exploit where you could advance and long V mode the Samachian stalwarts, and they would permanently stay in a bracing mode? It was extraordinarily powerful. Now, a full-on commit from MKT straight onto the base point. We got some nice flames covering a good area. Unfortunately, not close enough as the front line still has to do most of the work. Whoa! We got explosions happening. I do hate to see it, but unfortunately, MKT is going to take a massive L as YYY just tramples them over. Can another Treb gain something? Got some good hits. Unfortunately, I don't see very many deaths. YYY is holding strong, but here comes the cavalry. Swinging through, but Lancelot's got that 1 second immunity. Mitigates all the damage from that charge from YYY. Probably one of the more fascinating units to be counted as anti-cavalry. Or good against cavalry, not to say anti-cavalry. Now, this is quite worrying for MKT. Not a good exchange, to say the very least. I did expect a little bit better. What's surprising, though, is that I didn't see what killed the Siphonaries, and I didn't see what killed the Siphonaries, nor did I see what killed the Zycalian militia. They just exploded right in the center of the medals. And as you can see, absolute casualties. I think that Medal took the worst of it and basically just died. Is there a Zycalian militia? There are Zycalian militia, 2 Zycalian militia from YYY. So I think it was the Zycalian militia from YYY that really turned the fight around there. Oh, struggling to kill off the shield units here. Lancelots finally do make it through, but look, this is the problem I had before. These guys are invincible unless you hit them with something harder. We got 2 cavalry still remaining, just a swarm of infantry. I think the Lancelots right now is doing the best work. The companion cavalries do finally make it on. I think the Lancelots are almost killed. We got a wing assault straight through, unfortunately. Holy cow. YYY catches most of the cavalry trying to pull through. Companion cavalry is also coming out for MKT, but just looks like the Fortebrachos, even just in normal free mode, is doing really well. Probably just 3 units of companions here fighting off the heroes. Really deadly. You don't want to get hit by these guys. They'll hit for 2 to 3,000. Unfortunately, they're not in their sword mode. Well, one is sweeping up a couple of the units. Let's see how strong Down goes another hero. It does look like MKT is going to basically be finished off here. I'm not sure if many of them has a respawn, but I definitely don't think they got units. Both sides do look like to be clocking down on units, but the Companion Cavalry is really carrying the day. MKT spawns with Companion Cavalry and Medals, but just a bunch of Surf now coming out. We also have the Berserkers friendlies. Whoa, never thought I'd see that the AI Berserkers might come in handy. Got to deal with the Iron Reapers out here on the front. Companion Cavalries do seem to be get killed from just a mass of pikes. Though it's not great when the Iron Reapers just chopped right through that, including the Medal. Here comes some Yan Yudals. Unfortunately, the heroes from MKT respawns and dies. The fascinating thing here is, as long as they kill the Iron Reapers, I think they might be able to do a reversal. There's still 4 minutes left. If YYY doesn't have any respawns either, we could see a... How many? Come on. We got 1 permadeath, 2 permadeath. 1, okay. YYY has everyone. MKT does not. MKT really needs to catch the heroes here. Both sides are going to run out of units. I can guarantee you that there's not going to be any units out on the field soon. Slayer picks up another kill. Just killing off just a small amount of units. Unfortunately, sorry, one hand gets killed off. He was an Odachi, got plenty of short swords. Just one ISG holding on from the front for YYY. Could be... Whoa, never mind. We got Claymores rocking up right now. Got some higher tier units as well. Hero from MKT dying by the looks of it. Got some more permadeath coming out. YYY, no one's permadeath so far. Unfortunately, I do think MKT is just out of units. Just got the rattan pikemen left. Short swords are great for tankiness, good for extended fights, but when it comes to kill potential, this is what I'm talking about. Very low. You got great survivability with the short sword, but you can't kill anyone. I think 1 person left. Greyhound does seem to have a life. Slayer has a life. We've got 2 lives left for MKT. But a very desperate... Oh, man, come on. A very desperate finish for MKT. When it comes down to hero fighting, it was, again, the key thing here is kill potential. Having too many of those short swords, having too many of those heavies, no damage coming out from MKT. I'm sorely disappointed that MKT could not kill more of the heroes from YYY. So we do have the 2 remaining. 1 minute left to go. This could be a massive upset if they don't realize what's happening. It does look like the longsword does spot them. Just a little bit of cap points. Oh, he's off the point now, but here comes some surf units. 35 seconds left to go. Let's see how long they can last. Whoa, look at that touch of death. Almost 70% of that Nodachi. Honestly, the spear right-click dismount into Dragon's Roar Crisis Gift is one of the most terrifying damage combos in the game. considering how easy it is to pull it off. And it doesn't feel as disgusting as getting hit by either the Mark for Death or Rough Justice. Nevertheless, the damage is super unreal. The Musket Hero kills the Nathans and the Short Sword killed the Ball Boys? Nah. Obi-Wan Kenobi, the Ball Boys and the Siphonatis died by fire or while on fire. So something, well, maybe the musket lit them on fire, but this is the thing, like, it wasn't what killed them, it's how they died and what they did to their team. When one of those units die, they deal damage to a small radius around them. And if you saw properly, they were deep inside a Madao. They were right on top of that Madao. You saw half of that Madao just get annihilated. And you're just like, wait, what happened? It's because the ball boys exploded. Nevertheless, again, really good start for MKT. Just could not carry that home. YYY doing a really good job at not overextending and definitely catching MKT on the base. I'm willing to bet that it is not the end, though. This time, I think MKT is going to be on their home field on Kurik Castle. I'm not expecting I'm not expecting an easy fight, but I'm expecting MKT to at least pick up a battle from YYY here. And obviously, as we can see, since it did take a really long time, the number of kills is great. Not to mention, look at the assists. YYY definitely working together to secure those kills, and we have a lot of permadeath. Every single one of them permadeath, in fact. Um, Not very many kills, though. Slayer coming out with the most kills for MKT with 5. Anodachi, by the way, doing really well for himself, in fact. As you can see, with a lot of whoa, he must have been a ISG. He took so much damage. Didn't deal very much, but got some guys with some serious damage taken. Alrighty, Gomen going in with the 4 million. I'm not really sure how to understand some of the damage taken or damage dealt, but that was it was some serious stats. I don't believe any of these guys are sitting down, lying back. I think they're all in it to win it, and I definitely don't think that they're not trying their best. But when you got stats in the several millions like that, you definitely know that they're doing work. Alrighty, we should be seeing Current Castle fairly shortly. Not sure when they started, but we are out of the results page. Itchy nose. I'm also listening to the Conqueror's Blade devs here. How was my prediction going, by the way? Did anyone actually vote? What? Did no one vote? No one vote. Oh, wait, no. One person voted. No channel points, though. I'm disappointed. Oh, shit. Oh, okay. They didn't start the battle as fast as I thought they would. Actually, your second international one. Back in winter, your winter CBL for 2023. Alrighty, finally, in the third battle between YYY and MKT, we have MKT attacking on Kuruk Castle this time. So YYY is 2-0 right now, and it is not looking great for MKT. MKT really needs to pick up on their chosen map, not only the attack but also the defense, in order to come down for a tiebreaker. Does look like one of the members from YYY did disconnect in the loading screen. Let's see if he comes back just before the battle starts. It would be really upsetting if he doesn't get to choose his stuff. Obi-Wan Kenobi, it is a best of 5. There can be a possible of 5 battles. So we're on the second set of siege battles here in the qualifier. So it's always great to watch some extra battles. Yep, they changed the style just a little bit. I think CBL rules changes from CBL to CBL, and it is great to see them evolve. And I do think that if this does go over time, it's going to be very worrying. Now, I'm expecting a rush through the gate towards the B section after a little bit of baiting from MKT. The good strategy here is to make YYY overcommit to the A point and make a rush towards the B and base point, forcing YYY to desperately fight on the ground as they make their way back to the base point. Yes, I do. YYY picked the Hailang Fjord map. MKT chose the Kuruk Castle map. And we are here on the Kuruk Castle. A basically similar setup from before. I think both teams already have a strategy in mind with their chosen composition. A little bit of a bug yet again, but nevertheless we will accommodate. Trebbing straight away onto the far back point. Interesting Treb that also managed to destroy that one. Or, no, it was destroyed by a Cauldron. I was thinking that maybe that was a big brain Treb where it manages to collateral one of the Cauldrons, but turns out I was wrong. Does look like the longbow is making it a bit of a headache for this Nodachi to build anything. I wonder how much damage the Nodachi has taken. Not a lot. Not a lot of damage. Gotta be scared of those pushes out from the front gate. Does look like they have a good contingent here at the front gate, just in case if they're gonna go for a rush. I do not suspect that YYY is not ready if there is a rush towards the B point. Down goes the right-hand siege tower. We do have two culverins deployed to destroy it. Middle siege tower does get up on the wall. Let's see if this left-hand siege tower gets up on the wall. Middle siege tower is not exactly that terrible for Kuruk Castle. I still would not go up it if the defenders want to defend the wall. But in this position, it would be okay. I think A point should be a fairly easy grab in this position. Either a fairly easy grab or a hard, even fight. Unless YYY descends to choke off the middle siege tower. It does look like they're going for a choke. They've got the ISG and one Mermilones. Got some heavy shields on either side. Really good for squeezing. Although heavy shields do not do very much damage, they got some staying power. They're not easy to kill. Did look like some Shenji got clocked out. MKT taking a lot of damage from the muskets. Could see a rush through the gates, forcing the enemy onto the ground. We got Medal's at the front trying to bash open the shield. Well, we've got the Winged Hussars making it all the way through. Here comes some cavalry. Massive swing, but Medals are at that front point. Not a really good trade if you can't get through. The left-hand side does break open. We got the Lancelot still fighting as the Iron Reapers just kill their way right across. The Medal still at the front gate. Not really great to have more cavalry come through. As long as that Medal is still there, instead of going for the B point, they make it towards the A point. Heroes in the back line still making a mess. Does look like a longsword is on to the B point. Really terrible start for MKT. I do think that they're barely holding on with the offensive right now. Really low kill power right now. They really need to kill this musket. But this musket is dancing. He is dead. Alrighty, let's take a quick recap.
In the park.
MKT losing quite a bit. Obviously killed here. I think the Shenji took probably enough, right? 1-1-1-1. Serious kills here.
Child's play.
So at least one unit from every single member of... Nope. 14 units are down for MKT. How many units are you up, man? Oh wow. YYY's musket lost both of their infantry units. It's only got iron caps left. Alright, it does look like a fair amount. So, I'm guessing around about 4 or 5 units up for YYY here. Let's double check the hero death here. Oh, YYY surprisingly down one more life. 6 to 7 here. MKT still has probably a lot of cavalry in reserve. I doubt they want to take another wall fight, considering that they probably have weaker infantry. Well, I say weaker infantry. They probably... I don't know. They got both the siege towers up, and it definitely looks like Y is ready for another... Oh. Goes for the front gate yet again. Fortebraccios here at the front. Good old shield throw, instantly clapping that Fortebraccio charges straight on to the Iron Reapers, knocking them down. Does look like the supply point is going to get captured here. Whoa, Wing to Sarge swipes out the Wing to Sarge from YYY. We now also have a battle on two fronts. Got a contingent here in the back. Does look like it's going to lose, but the contingent here on the ground is also losing. Whoa, where is your main force? You're losing two minor battles right now, but the Flamers should be able to hold this supply point here for you. The B point was also getting captured by the cavalry that jumped away. MKT just has a small contingent now. Flamers and two Lancelots. Unfortunately, Lancelots comes into the rear. The Siphonari did take it out. Musket Bomb probably did the work, but Lancelot definitely closed them off. The heroes from MKT dying real fast right now.
Summons you.
Another swing around. Not sure what MK is doing, but the hyper-aggressiveness and also the splitting is not working out for them. They really need to get some teamwork up, even in the last few minutes of this battle. Companion Cavalry does kill most of the Lancelots, but the Fortebraccios does the work. Killing off that Companion Cavalry. The A point is secured. The B point is secured. Does look like it probably was a cavalry battle with companions fighting off against each other. Maybe the Fortebraccios. I'm not sure what happened in the back. All I know is that B point is secured as well. So, MKT, you're down quite a bit. You got probably only one unit left of high tier units and probably surviving just off of tier 1s.
Drawing a sword, make it down.
YYY knows this. They're going straight for you. I don't think they're going to stop until every single one of you are dead. We got 2 minutes 30 seconds to go. We also have plenty of artillery and Trebs available for MKT. A good Treb, but I don't think it's going to make up for the massive difference between YYY and MKT. Does this mean that I think MKT cannot win? Yes. I do think it's unfortunate, but we're going to be having to sit for 2 minutes as we wait for YYY to close it out by either killing all of the attackers or waiting until the timer is finished. Oh, the rotation from YYY was good. The problem here is that MKT should have expected the rotation. I think MKT failure here was underestimating how hard they were losing battles. There were a lot of minor battles where MKT was just leaving some of their guys to deal with very small amounts of forces, but in the end, those minor battles turned into landslide victories, cementing MKT's disadvantage in the final fights.
Scatter before my might! Ashes to ashes, dust to dust! Scatter before my might!
Anyone left? The Pike hero also has a similar stab ability.
Death summons you.
The weird thing about shield throw is that if the enemy is on the ground, you actually do not hit them.
A walk in the park. Together we stand.
I do love the embroidered uniform officer. Got the Plague Doctor attire here.
Ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
We got
together we stand.
We got three heroes left. No, just two alive, right? And there we have it. YYY cementing their victory with a 3-0 against MKT. Unfortunately, MKT does get taken out in the quarterfinals. I do hope that we get to see them again. But nevertheless, YYY doing a bang up job at catching MKT, even though it does look like MKT comes out strong. As the battle wears on, it's always for the side of YYY. I think I think the follow through for MKT is very weak. They really need to start working together and probably try to avoid less bulldozing through. Forcing cavalry through that front gate as well in the first push was not the best move, to say the very least. And I'm I mean, I kind of expected a bait towards the front gate after a bait towards the wall. I think they could have done I think they could have done things a little bit slower. Could have probably used some more resources as well. Plenty of artillery, by the way. By the end of that, I think there was like 20 artillery, 13 trebs still available for MKT to make take advantage of. But that will be all for right now. We got about 33 minutes before the next set of battles begin. I'm going to take a short break. I'll see you guys in 33 minutes for AP versus TLDR. Who do you think will win? TLDR or AP? I do think TLDR will probably win, but that is my bet. One of your guys' bet. I'll be back. Bum, 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 bum. He's back. We're going to be moving on to the next set of battles. So we did finish up watching. So earlier today we watched YYY versus MKT. YYY winning both of their battles on the Hailang Fjord and winning against MKT on Kurik Castle. So it came down to, well, sorry, YYY winning overall with a 3-0, and very unfortunately MKT is out in the quarterfinals. Now, moving on to the next set of battles, we have AP, otherwise Animal Planet, versus TLDR, which is the last dance reel. I do hope we get to see some exciting battles, but nevertheless, we have the pick ban for AP and TLDR. AP scoring 5 in the dice roll, and TLDR rolling 2. That means AP gets first ban. Now, banning out Constantinopolis. Not very interesting to see that AP is afraid of Constantinopolis. TLDR bans out Daisuo. Now we have AP choosing Harbor City Siege. So that means we'll get 2 harbor cities first. And TLDR choosing Bailu, otherwise known as White Elk Fort. It's been a while since the changes to Bailu, well, to White Elk Fort, into the now Bailu map. For the units, we have a very interesting ban for halberdier sergeants, halberdiers, and metallictors, also known as falconetti gunners. I am not sure why in the pick ban they're still called metallictors. They safe picked Iron Reapers, interestingly enough. The Last Dance reel bans out Imperial Pike Guard, Rattan Pikemen, and Shirt Diners with the safe pick on Lancelot Knights. I'm expecting a very heavy melee brawl. Vanis, your question is as good as mine. I do think the ban on the shirt diners is a little bit ill-conceived, mostly because I think shirt diners do not seem to have very much usage. We don't see very much usage, but we also don't want to underestimate this unit. Well, apparently AP does not like the Halberdier units, and considering that they chose Iron Reapers, it's actually not a surprise. You see, Halberdiers and Halberdier Sergeants are notoriously high damage. I'm talking 2.5, maybe 3,000 damage in their phalanx mode, and they hit 2 targets, by the way. They are the highest damaging units among all of like the old units, barring cavalry, of course, because cavalry is just bullshit. If we're talking about just infantry, the halberdier and halberdier sergeants are the best, just straight up. It's not even a joke when we're talking about just raw damage. Now, Rattan Pikeman ban on Imperial Pike Guard. Imperial Pike Guard, I'm not sure. Imperial Pike Guard can be good, but at the same time, it can be bad. Imperial Pike Guards don't do very well marching into other brace units, so it's kind of interesting with halberdiers and halberdier sergeants both being banned. We might be seeing probably a high pick of the Sunward Phalanx, which are actually really good against Imperial Pike Guards, mostly because Imperial Pike Guards tend to die before they can actually damage the Sunward Phalanx, which is very interesting as well. Oh, not to mention the Sunward Phalanx could just literally march backwards, and the Imperial Pike Guard would never touch them. But yeah, Rattan Pikeman as well. I'm not sure why TLDR would be afraid of Rattan Pikeman, since they did safe pick Lancelot Knights. Lancelot Knights don't seem to have very much weaknesses against the poison. Not to mention, Lancelot Knights will probably beat up the Iron Reapers very easily. Oh yeah, for sure. I think Rattan Marksman would have been a better pick. Sorry, a better ban. Halberdiers. The thing is Halberdiers are a really good filler pick. Halberdier Sergeants is a flex. Like, there's no reason to really pick Halberdiers because they don't offer like, you have to use Halberdiers pretty aggressively. You have to use the charge and you have to cover their flanks. Their charge into their brace, very strong. It will rip apart a lot of units. I think even Iron Reapers would see some serious damage if they got charged by Halberdier. But the problem here is that like a charge from an Iron Reaper as well would cave in that Halberdier unit. So oh yeah, for sure. Halberdier Sergeants Masteries is just really bad. Personally, I don't like it too much. The Halberdier Sergeants could have had a much better. I don't know. Mastery in its entirety is just not very good in my eyes. But anyway, enough about talk about masteries. We're going straight on to Harbor City Battle. Does look like one of the members from TLDR just DC'd, so hopefully he comes back with all of his units. The last Gong needs to choose all of his units before it is too late. We've got 27 seconds of the pick phase. We do see a high pick rate for the Sunward Phalanx. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not very high for TLDR. Probably not expecting that much cavalry, in fact. We only got 4 cavalry to a fear, 2 companions, 2 uh, Zhuangzi heavy cavalry, but we got 2, surprisingly, 2 Yan Daos, 1 Zhuangzi heavy cavalry, and I think I saw 3 companions coming out from TLDR. That's a good number of cavalry, and TLDR does look to be a bit stronger in the infantry lineup. We're going to have to see how they deal with the pike units. If the Sunward's Phalanx really doesn't carry their own weight in the infantry section, they really need to stop the cavalry. Otherwise, I think just from unit selection alone, AP is at a disadvantage, and not a small disadvantage either. Tertials? You saw Tertials? Saw Senji. Ruby is respawning now. Shenji, blah 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 blah. Shenji. Red team? Really? Shenji. I think it's just Shenji, man. Ah, maybe he swapped. Maybe he swapped. Teresa changed over to Iron Reapers, Sunward, Phalanx, and the Pike Militia. Alrighty. Off to a standard start on Harbor City. Harbor City! Whoa! We have Jewel Blade in the back. Probably scouting out for those random culverins. Whoa, he is almost dead by the companion cavalry. He's gotta be terrified right now. He's running fast. Whoa, building. Interestingly enough, he is running down. Whoa. Be interesting if oh, down goes that jewel blade in the back. Very nice fancy fight in the back. All right. back onto the wall. Middle siege tower does make it, but it looks like they let it up. Got some trebs onto that artillery. Now, second set of artillery is making its way to the wall. Left and right siege tower getting destroyed is to be expected if they want to kind of delay for time. I think this is a really good strategy. Just focusing on 2 siege towers, making sure that the enemy doesn't get the wall straight away. You don't need to sacrifice that much, just the artillery. And you can gain a lot of time. A lot of time. Now, the defenders probably not prepared for this. Though, take that back. Are prepared for this. I thought it was just going to be more than just the heroes, but the heroes just kind of poked out. Whoa! He could die. He does die! AP is not taking this very seriously at all. Gotta be very careful. Every death is super important. Alt ghosting? I'm not sure what alt ghosting is. Left-hand siege tower going to make it to the wall. Right-hand siege tower doesn't look to be damaged at all. Alrighty, TLDR does a full retreat, gaining a little bit of time with one destruction of the siege towers on the left and the right-hand side. I would probably think that TLDR is the better team, but we're gonna have to see if that is true. This next phase will probably be a artillery phase if it's gone into the classic style. But I've not seen a team focus here on the left-hand side. Probably wants to go down. That small gate is not broken. Gonna have to be a bit careful if you're planning on respawning on that side. I would like to keep all of your avenues open. Interesting mortar. Not sure if I've ever seen mortars placed over here. Let's see if they can get some hits in. Oh, they can. This Madao and Lancelot's probably in danger if they're not careful. Boom! Double hit. Too bad it does not cause a kill just yet, but they might start moving. Here comes another shot. Does move back now. One of the most interesting thing is always just how always maximum range. Always stay safe. I would love to see AP set up in a way where they have artillery covering their troops as they creep up into the center. Does look like there's a ballista coming from Mike. Oh, I see. Nah. Varnus, the Pike earlier definitely was expecting to get hit. He probably altered just in case to see if he could spot the invisible dual blade. Because the Pike has to be careful. He could actually be easily one-banged with a kick ambush alt alt butterfly combo. AP going for a left-hand side push. Massive retreat from TLDR, heading towards their supply point here on the left-hand side. Honestly, retreating back towards the supply point here. We got Zwanji Heavy Cavalry swept up a easy kill on the shields. Might push on towards the supply point. Unfortunately, no. I think AP is going to bait out. Whoa, this is not great. I'm not sure if that ballista hit anything. I think it was too high. This is a really good way to kind of get the defenders to overextend in some cases. As long as they keep rotating, they're going to catch one, maybe 2 units, 1 unit or 2 units every single time if they overextend like this. TLDR waiting for a commit from AP. I think I think the cavalry from AP should head towards the right hand side and catch anyone overextending and force a fight. But now they're heading up straight towards this supply point. They see the formation. Not sure where they want to go. Interesting setup for artilleries here. Really commit here. Lancelot's right in the center. This is going to be some kind of multi-directional fight. Cavalry in the back as well. Lancelot's en masse comes in. But the main fight onto the supply point. The rear gets caught. AP is holding somewhat well on the supply point, but the back line is getting cleaned up. Big charge from the companion cavalries does not finish off the Lancelot Knights, though. The Lancelot Knights holding strong. Multi-directional fight. Very hard to see who's winning or who's losing right now. The Sunward Phalanx out in attack mode. Another Sunward Phalanx and Palace Guards goes down for TLDR. Very much underestimating the power of TLDR. Sorry, AP. AP doing absolute work against TLDR right now. TLDR is throwing in another unit, not prepared for another fight. Magically, a reset on the supply point yet again. Where you going, Rice? Rice gets smacked down onto the ground here. But he could kill the... Oh, no, he dies. TLDR takes a massive treb as they force a push onto the supply point. Lancelot's barely holding against the Iron Reaper and the Sunward Phalanx. Another treb onto the supply point. Finally, the attackers get cleaned up just before they were able to spawn in another set of units. But right now, it is a chase towards the base point as the heroes retreat back to regroup. AP doing very well at the start there, and I think they carry their way through. As we can see, the unit deficit for the defenders here is actually almost, well, could be 2 to 3 units here. And we're talking high tier units, so the tier 4 and tier 5. We've got AP with a lot more tier 5 units available. So we could be seeing some serious losses from TLDR here. Yeah, clocking on what, 18 units? 18 units down. I think there's normally around about 30-ish units for like higher tiers and stuff. All right, the advantage is actually not that big. Or the Sunward Phalanx is kind of skewing things a little bit. It's roughly around about a 4-unit advantage right now for AP. Actually, no. I was underestimating it a little bit. It's a 4-unit advantage for AP here. A good mortar coming in. The 2 good hits. I'm not sure if 3 good hits. Not sure if there's any kills. If AP fights with those weak units, we could see them get taken out fairly quickly. Any skirmishing around here will weaken the units, and they'll be just worse in the battle. Not to mention, we see some Adals dying, so definitely weakened enough for a direct hit for a mortar to kill them out. AP has a little bit of time. I'm not sure how they want to handle this. TLDR kind of a bit spread out. This could end up in another failure. for TLDR as they fail to clump up, but it could be good if they can avoid running straight into the phalanxes. If they get onto the flanks or get onto the rear on the phalanx, I think they will do well. Very little support for this heavy shield unit as it's extended out very strangely. Not Treb. Shenji grenade straight on to that back line. Really good hit. Too bad they don't take advantage of it. Coming up through the center again after the TLDR moved away from that right-hand side. Now I got some nice covering fire from both the Rattan marksman and what looks to be Imperial archers. I think TLDR should slow down this main pile and try to get them to stay here as long as possible. Unfortunately, Shenji clears out the Rattan marksman with a nice throw, but the advantage for the infantry here at the front is massive as big pickup right now for TLDR, charging straight through onto the Shenji. The phalanx is retreating. I'm not sure if they're going to be successful, though. Zwanji heavy cavalry kind of strangely loses out. Sunward's phalanx tries to retreat, but unfortunately not turned all the way around. Does get basically ran over. Now on to the base point. I kind of didn't see this fight either, but we can see the aftermath. Iron Reapers defeating probably what looks to be the Sunwood phalanx, but TLDR comes up from the rear, coming up from the front as well. Complete surround here. Sunwood's phalanx trying to retreat out, but where do you retreat when you're back against the wall? Getting right on top of the Sunwood's phalanx, easily wiping out that contingency from AP. AP is now at a serious loss. One by one, they are being killed out. Good start for AP, but right now, they drop the ball. Does look like we have Yan Yudaos here at the back, causing some headaches for the heroes from AP. This will be the last assault, but it will be a rush. We got companion cavalries out on the field en masse as well. Really cool to see just how many companion cavalries there are. It is a cavalry unit with 27 models, largest unit size we've ever seen for cavalry. There is a cheesy one where your chevaliers can be like 35 units large with the Corsaliers and stuff. Time-wise, AP is at a serious disadvantage. They don't have very high killing power. As if they have to use the companion cavalries to break open the formation, they've got some serious problems. But if the companion cavalries can maintain a strong performance, usage of the Fort Brascio is trying to counter out the cavalry. We've got some companion cavalries in the back there. The forces from both sides, kind of strangely, companion cavalries get beaten out. It looks like we got Wu Wei in the middle there, not killing off the units. What is happening? AP straight onto the point, barreling towards the thing. I'm not sure what's happening right now. I'm not even watching the right fight. The majority of the units there is AP. TLDR is doing whatever they can to throw their heroes and their units onto the point. TLDR needs to block up this point and get these heroes off of it. TLDR throws another maul onto it, but 30 seconds left to go, and the cap point's about to be capped. Longsword survives for another 2 seconds. Spear, another 2 seconds, but desperate as they were, TLDR fails to defend the base point at the very end there. And my goodness, how how desperate that push was, sacrificing your tail just to go straight onto the base point. And I think it worked out for them very well there. As we can see, lots of assists for everyone, but not very many kills. Does go to show you that AP is definitely committing together. Probably sacrificing one or two of their guys each time, but TLDR, the small fights that you do pick up, it's not leading to major victory on the main front. I'm unsure on who's going to be winning this time. I definitely did not suspect that TLDR would. Uh, I did not suspect that TLDR would win. Goes to show you that I'm seriously underestimating AP here. And I forgot to make a poll, so good luck. Although this will be late, let's have a poll regardless. I'll put it for 5 minutes. Who do you think is going to win? TLDR or AP? AP showing off a really good attack for now. TLDR probably unable to handle direct fights with AP, or they're trying to come in from different angles simultaneously, which puts them in a bad position since they avoid major fights. Really showing kind of some objective plays coming out from AP, which is a shocker. I've not seen I've not seen some many objective plays from teams. Normally teams love to battle it out and see who dominant in a direct fight, but this is kind of switching it around a bit. We do have R from TLDR picking up 5 kills. Would love to see TLDR pick up a bit more kills, considering how many. Oh no, I take that back. AP has way more kill potential than TLDR does. TLDR has probably 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 heavies, while AP doesn't have 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 heavies, and the rest are mediums. There's like so many spears. There's one, two. I say so many spears. There's 3 spears. They got a mix of a whole bunch of things. There's 3 spears. Oh, there's a glaive, so that counts. So that's. Did I count that one? That's 5, 6. Okay, so there's more heavies. This glaive heavy is just really interesting. Oh, for sure. I think AP did really well getting onto the supply point. I think TLDR catching a couple of the sections, the tail particularly, was really good. The Lancelot Knights just probably ran out of steam trying to get onto the main force on top, or the Iron Reapers were just beating them out. But re-establishing the attack once those two groups at the back was beaten up, TLDR really needed to kind of preserve their forces and try to push out AP on the supply point. One of the damnedest thing is that if the supply point is taken, AP can spawn units on that supply point. So not only does your attack need to be swift so that it avoids a scenario where the attackers have absolute advantage, you also have to have enough forces to push them out. There's always a lot of times where it's just like it takes too long to kill the attackers, and as you saw before, just a couple of heroes just onto the base point capturing the majority of it. I think the assault in the second half was a little bit weak from AP. The final push was very spectacular, I would say. Seriously underestimating AP now. Oh, yeah. Bombarded? Oh, I wouldn't say they got bombarded. I think it's just they got caught. Maybe the damage from the mortars did a lot more damage to more units than I thought they did, but I'm suspecting you're right, Obi-Wan Kenobi. The mortars, you can't see the damage, but they definitely got hit. And AP didn't have any healer units out on the field. Unlike, I mean, like, if alchemists were there, they would heal up units real fast. Yeah, in the second, okay, they attack well. Ah, yeah, for sure. I think AP did gain an advantage, but they lost it. But they managed to pull it back in the final seconds of the battle. I'm not sure if it was just the lower tier units doing well. The companions didn't seem to do spectacularly there. Both sides seem to have very few high tier units left. Um, I did I did think that TLDR probably had a little bit more higher tier units, but I didn't. I mean, like I checked the score. Even if they had some half units, I think it would have been way better to bring those out, considering like yeah. But maybe you're right, Obi-Wan Kenobi. If I like looked properly, we would have probably seen that AP probably still held the advantage at the very end. Right now, probably a 71 advantage? No, a 70 unit advantage right now. So it's a natural 70. Gotta see if that comes into play. I'll take your word for it. I mean, I can't remember the Trebs hitting well because there was just so many fights happening all at once. Trebs is a very powerful tool, but I underestimate it a lot here on Harbor City. There are very few spaces where you can Treb very well. That left-hand seashell is about to go down. Right-hand seashell also about to go down. It's got one tick left. Looks like another player is destroying it. Well, here's my counter argument for this. Um, TLDR getting hit with Treb was their own fault as well. But then again, they were probably forced to eat Trebs as the AP's movement caused them to fight in areas where it's easily trebable. I think I do remember like maybe one good Treb in the center, but the majority of the strength from AP was their movement. I was so surprised. Just moving caused AP to gain a massive advantage over TLDR. TLDR TLDR's positioning was kind of uh, kind of weak in comparison to how strong AP just kind of felt. And it all just came down to movement and the position of the units. So I said earlier that TLDR was kind of spread thin. I didn't realize how much of an advantage the AP kind of took for that. AP is Mugun Kingdom, and TLDR is ECL. Really? I don't recognize any of these names. Oh wait, no, Moonjay, I know Moonjay. No, Mipe? Nah, I don't know what Mipe actually. Oh, actually, oh, okay. This is okay. There's some people that I recognize. I didn't realize it was Mugun Kingdom. I did think that TLDR was ECL, but they called themselves The Last Dance, so I mean The Last Dance Reel, so they are The Last Dance Reel in my eyes. Well, for the competition, they are The Last Dance Reel. Oh my goodness! Fall damage is dangerous, people. Do not play with your lives. Dying here on CBL is going to be super dangerous. Yeah, I don't remember names that well since I don't concentrate on certain on like teams and names. Sorry, on particular players. I only mostly remember teams, but I know personally Rice and stuff. I know the Bear is here, Mikey Mike. I know Sane. Green Gun is I've seen him mostly in Korean teams, but like he's been in ECL for a while now. Van Reed's a new guy. I saw his name, or maybe he's been around. He's just not familiar. I'm just not familiar with him. Alrighty. A full retreat, surprisingly. Only one siege tower up on the wall. I'm surprised that they didn't go for a wall hold. Why do you change your name, Kazuyo? I want to smack Kazuyo in the face. Just stick with Kazuyo. So he's NZL Demos. Oh wait, Dynamodes? Wait, he's the NZL Dynamodes, not whatever you wrote. I mean, you almost spelled it correctly, but very unfortunate Treb right now. Massive hits onto those Shenjis. How many did we die? We got 8 killed there. Well, not that one. Wow, 10 Wu-Weis dying to that Treb and 8 Shenjis. That's basically a whole unit right there. Starting off with a big bombardment, even though we haven't seen a clash just yet. The damage is real as more shots just land straight onto very critical units. Shenji can really make or break a fight, but down to 5 of them already. TLDR makes a move in the center here. AP's probably worried about a rotation. I think they should go through the center right now. I meant AP go through the center. If TLDR kept stretching across, if they straight up cut the center and cut either the left or the right hand side off, that could have been a really cool grab. Shields at the front, both sides sizing each other up. We got some big fire coming out from the Imperial Archers. Do not underestimate ranged units. Just skirmishing right now. They have already caused quite the bit of damage. Artillery as well. As long as AP has to move to match TLDR, they're going to keep losing more and more units just to these critically placed artillery. Between the ballista, mortar. My goodness, AP finally retreating out of the left-hand supply point because they've just taken so much damage. Brutal as more units, more critical units get taken out. That Treb was probably expecting a counterattack from AP, but smart move. Do not go back in to defend this supply point, especially when you've taken that much damage. I understand that AP wants to maintain this section of the map, but the mortars, the damage coming out from the artillery plus the ranged units from TLDR, a lot of damage. I mean, we've probably lost 2 or 3 units for AP, and we have not seen a full-on engagement just yet. But Defenders is definitely on the back foot right now. They really need to stop the next attack in its tracks. Not only that, they need to avoid taking damage. Unfortunately, TLDR really loves to weaken their enemy right now, and they're really good at it. This assault, I believe, is going to be quite one-sided. AP will probably end up having to desperately throw in their next set of unit as they kind of weather this next storm. They want to avoid damage on units that can't heal themselves. Medaus, in particular, cannot heal themselves. But these, whoa, unsupported shield units at the front, though. Yeah, good to have these guys out on the front. Myrmidiones heals by themselves. Imperial Spear Guards also heal by themselves, but they don't heal fast enough. Going for a little bit of a squeeze. We got the supply point getting taken just by residual. Just one hero over there. Ooh, a Shenji throw over the wall hits the back line. Unfortunately, it hits units that do not care. I'll be surprised if you could actually kill a Myrmidiones with a Shenji bomb. A Shenji bomb on Myrmidiones is, funnily enough, a heal for them. A heal. Whoa. Grape shots there at the front as well. We got some shots into the backs. Does it land clean? We got one hit very at the back, but we have the battle kicking off. Left-hand side going in strong. Now we have the center just getting cleaned up. The counterattack is massive. AP is pushing back the attackers, but let's see if this next section, the leftover, is holding that kind of pocket here as their ranged unit is shooting into the pile. They really looks like TLDR might just get pushed completely out here. Did look like a cavalry unit did rock up behind them and taking out those Rattans. We still have got Shenji around here. Looks like an even trade for both sides. Probably slightly towards TLDR, depending on how the last few heroes survive. But it does look like AP easily picks up the hero kills that stay around. Fortunately, that chain dart is not a chain dart. It is a double bow. I didn't expect this to happen, but a desperate push onto the supply point from TLDR coming in through that small gate. Now, here is a big problem. Without the supply point, they cannot gain back the units right now for heroes that are dead. I mean, still alive without a unit. Grabbing the far supply point, I've seen this before, where the defenders are pushed to the other supply point, and that is the only thing you can do, depending on how your units on the point can last with reinforcements coming in. Now, both sides taking a heavy loss in the first major battle, but we got 4 minutes left to go. I think AP shouldn't have rushed this. They've lost 2 units straight away, 2 heroes straight away. Actually, a 3rd unit, Wu Wei over here. They could hold this choke. Unfortunately, they don't. What happened to the unit? We have multiple battles happening simultaneously. AP picks up a couple of heroes. A massive assault here as well. Looks like Iron Reapers versus Lancelot not winning, though. TLDR does hold strong. one by one, the AP is falling. They can't reestablish themselves right now. They're getting cut off at every corner. They really need to play this slow because TLDR is also playing this slow, catching them one after the other. Right now, they are finally pushing onto the base point, and this is the moment where you need to go for the push, but you're not ready. Has to desperately send in units, but the Sunward Phalanx easily cleans that up. I think the Men-at-Arms also weather the storm there. The heroes from AP trying to buy time, but there's so many pikes. Cavalry here from, I have no idea. AP just trying to circle around, go somewhere, but there's no one on point. You got about 5 seconds for someone to touch point, or it is done. Straight on to the sharp end of a pointy stick. That you're not gonna be making it. Super desperate from AP, but my goodness, that was action packed. TLDR did not relent. Even as they were dying, they did not relent. Straight on to that left-hand supply point, pushing AP into a bad position as heroes staying out, no units. AP getting caught, respawning, having units trying to push towards the base point instead of reforming and getting ready to catch TLDR when they make their move towards the base point. This is out. This is spectacular coming out from TLDR. The amount of pressure I think AP was under in that circumstance, even winning, do mind, they won in the very first battle against TLDR. Not by a large margin, by the way. Probably enough to get 1 or 2 units back. But the follow-up, absolutely crucial. AP couldn't get in position, got caught out. TLDR grabbing that supply point. It is on Harbor City. That is a death sentence. If that left-hand supply point is taken by the attackers, that is a near-death sentence. There is virtually very little that the defenders could do in order to recover from that supply point getting taken. But how AP handled that? Very poorly. And I think TLDR did amazing work on its bombardment from the beginning, its movement. I mean, both AP and TLDR did an amazing job for movement in that first section. Now, finally pushing on towards the base point. AP do an amazing job to corner TLDR and push them straight. Like, they didn't even give them a chance to push into that base point, crushing their assault easily. I'm just gonna put it out there. Like, both teams are definitely showing that they are spectacular here in the quarterfinals, and it's very exciting to watch both of them just duke it out. Probably a whole 8 minutes of no action, but a super action-packed finish. As you can see here, super heavy losses, almost, let's say, 2-1 for the attackers. I mean, almost a 2-1 death, for the attackers. So the attackers lost twice as many as the defenders. And then finally, just continuing on, a 2-1 reversal for the attackers. And you can just see the results. Just a couple of pickoffs at the beginning, just pushing siege towers. The bombardment here, very terrifying. Like, this is not a lot of kills, but this is kills without losses, by the way. This is units' death that been chipping away at your strength. Both winning one-on-one battle. We'll have to see at least 2 more battles to see if it gets closed out. I'm hoping for a field, and I'm really excited if it does come down to a field battle. Both of these teams does seem like they've got really good teamwork and know what they're doing. Oh, man. Now we're heading on to White Elk Fort, otherwise known as the Bailu. It is the newer version of the map, so there are some changes from what people probably remember. But this is back in Eternals, so it's been a while. So this map's been out a while. Oh, TLDR is attacking again. Do mind, TLDR did choose White Elk Fort. I'm expecting TLDR to do a bit better here on their attack. They already did a spectacular job on Harbor City, and AP probably not their preferred map. So it's very worrying that Harbor City was also quite a good victory for TLDR, while their attack was very desperate in AP's scenario, really coming down to the wire there with really really few units available for either side. But in terms of unit selection, we are seeing a drop in Sunward Phalanx, just slightly, probably 1 or 2 units down. A pickup of the Madao, interesting. We got 4 Madaos coming out from AP. Probably not my pick. If I was to be honest with you, Madaos do not do well enough for me to consider them over the Sunward's Phalanx. But nevertheless, we gotta watch out for that cavalry. Both sides have a bit of cavalry, and we can see them have a really big impact. Alrighty, starting off. Treb straight away onto that ballista. Probably gonna get push all the siege towers. AP having a lot of concentration in their tier 4-5 units. Got 804 to 870. So about 70 unit deficit already. 4 jewel blades, you say? 1, 2, 3, 4 jewel blades. 1 chain dart and scimitar. Looks like AP really wants to kill, really wants to assassinate the heroes from TLDR. Probably not the worst strategy. I definitely do think that TLDR should be afraid of some assassins. So it's gonna be up to the units to really make up. Straight away at the front here. Did they get one-shotted? No, they did not. They did take a hit though. Oh, brutal. Mariones takes another bad hit, unfortunately. Trying to keep the gate clear. You need a ranged unit to really threaten that. But some hits onto that Murmillones did lose 4 units. Not exactly worth it, to be honest. May as well just let them take it. Though I was not expecting a Culverin just shooting straight through that straight through the front gate there. Both sides, by the way. They both committed a Culverin there. You have runes, no dogs, yeah. Well, we can already see the light arm is just assassinating one of the heroes from TLDR already. These skirmishes might delay the assault, depending. All of the siege towers about to make it to the wall. Front gate is broken, and pretty much very unfamiliar with how these matches would play out in CBL. I do remember a lot of these maps in the HLL, though there was Epic Artillery and it was live servers, so I'm not even sure if there was doctrines available. Yep. No, no, no. The invulnerability rune is available. Not that anyone really, not that that rune has been terribly useful. I'll tell you right now, like I've been watching a lot of the heroes have it, and it's about a 50-50 whether or not you survive and get away, but like you would not want to be in that situation in the first place, so getting caught was already your fault. We have a really big contingent of units moving around to the backside. I think that's quite a few. Like, a good chaser class. Longsword is really good with the invulnerability rune. You can just spam heal when you're choked, and it's just like, you'll eventually heal. And while you're healing, you're basically going to be, like, unkillable. But, of course, classes that are naturally very slippery, Pike, really good. The Chain Dart and Scimitar, really good. Jewel Blade can be really good. I think you need to work for it though. Short Sword also really good if you got charge up. Out of there. I mean, not very many glaives would ever go for their own charge. But I've seen one in like Siege where I almost kill a glaive and he just uses charge to get out because 1 second of invulnerability is enough for him to sprint halfway across my screen. Like he's out of there. He's out of there. The charge from glaive is really funny as well because just how fast you are going. Ah, yeah, it's okay. I mean, it gives you that 1 second to get your ult off. Whether or not your ult kills is another question. The supply point getting taken makes AP put in a bad situation yet again. This might be a repeat. We got cavalry coming up from the rear. This is going to be super dangerous if AP's not watching. Wu Wei Mansion Guards getting caught. I mean, I should be watching all of the battle, but it's just really hard to watch everything right now. Zychelian Militia as well. We got the cavalry getting stopped by... We've got... Whoa! We got Phalanx turned the wrong way here. Getting surrounded now. I'm not sure whose Momialona this is, but he's sitting back as his team struggles to take out the Phalanx units. Shenji grenades bombs that section. But right now, it does look like AP's holding victory. TLDR. I'm going to be honest here. It looks like you lost more units. Oh, this Iron Reaper might actually reverse that if they kill off the Shenji. Very important unit, by the way. AP does a full-on retreat, even though they don't have to. I'll be honest. More heroes from AP are still alive. They could defend this. They could actually finish off anyone that's over here right now. Not sure why they retreated. I think they could have stood and fight. They were not on the back foot there. But AP gives up the A point. Again, spectator bias. We are seeing this in hindsight. We see everything. It is the decision of AP, and it might be a good decision as well. Now, the unit advantage here has been lost by TLDR. They did have 70-odd units up. Or was it the other way around? I can't remember right now. I think it might have been the other way around. We can just check really easily. Let's see. A couple of wounded units here. Ooh, very close. 10 units down, 14 units down. All right. Ooh, this Lancelot's half dead, so about, well, I'm gonna say 14 and a half right now. AP is up then. They've got more units in reserve. AP is up around about 4 units. Oh yeah, bombardment just begun. This one's a little bit awkward though. I'll be honest. All of the trees look great. I can't see shit. Weather in the storm so far. Hey, that's a really nice pocket. I mean, like, of course that you would do that, but like, it's like something that, like, unless you see it happen, you're just like, oh yeah, that's a thing. Like, I know it's a thing to hide in the gate when you're defending the A point, but it's just like, oh, why did I think? That's because usually, usually enemies are just like wrapping around back and forth. So if you just have a bunch of guys in here, you would see guys just kind of like wrap around and poke you. But now you're hiding inside there and you're not getting bombarded, so that's really good. Bear walking up here. Interesting Treb. I think only one will get through properly. Yeah, all is gonna hit wall. Oh, no. All of them missed. Unfortunate there. I honestly think that the Demez Spearman is a really good replacement for like ISGs. ISGs are just too expensive for what you want them to do. Can they carry the day for the front? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I'm not sure. Like they're kind of strange how good or bad they are against certain units. Iron Reapers seem to chew through them really easily sometimes. Lancelot Knights just go around them. So you got like stronger shield units, still ISGs, but like there's plenty of ways to avoid their strong suit, which is the front. If you get around and hit their back, they take so much more extra damage. Do mind, they have 30% damage resistance from the front while they're using their shield, and that gets if you hit them from the back, that like does not apply. So they're like almost 5 times easier to kill from the back. I actually haven't seen a pickup yet. Like, oh, I agree. Like, put it this way. I don't like how shields are so weak outside of formations. Like, why can't shields just be moving walls? Like, it doesn't feel like a moving wall when they're in free attack mode, or just like, in general, like, I don't know what they need to do to make shield units stronger just by default without just overloading them with just being impossible to kill with just like tons of damage resistance. Down goes one of the short bows. Oh, smashes that left-hand side. Throwing about the ISGs. Big Shenji off to the start here. Murray-Alones, a tidal wave of men-at-arms. I mean, not men-at-arms. A tidal wave of Lancelot's making it through there. Does look like that north side is just getting destroyed here. Cavalry is looking to want to go through. Does pound their way through. Lancelots versus Wu Wei in the center there, getting shot up by the Imperial archers. A good formation of shields and pikes. Great to see it out on the field. AP is losing heavily here. On all fronts, indeed. Trying to use cavalry to make up the difference here. They need to get on top of these Imperial archers who are just making a mockery of these Medaus who are just sitting back. I'm expecting these guys to be near death in a few seconds. Companion cavalries forces their way through the Fortabraccios, loses a couple, but straight on to the Imperial archers does get taken down. Both sides taking heavy losses. Whoa! I was not expecting TLDR to be on the losing end. Right now, they're kind of throwing in this attack kind of willy-nilly. They're carrying a spear. A short spear, by the way. Surprisingly, random Courtiers just in the back there. I'm not sure if I saw a charge. Got some good alternative shields at the front here. Medaus will hold. I don't expect them to die to something as weak as Prefecture Guards, but Prefecture Guards do have bonuses against Pike units. Big Shenji combo right now, but they need to play this slow. AP does not have the advantage here. They need to make use of the Shenji grenades. They need to make use of the Zyklene militia. The cavalry wants to go in. There's so much cavalry from AP just skirting around, getting locked up. What do you do? What happened here? Did the user die? This is going really well right now. Just do not break formations. Do not force a push. You got 2 minutes. You only need around about 30 seconds to cap the point. AP going forward is not the way to go. Give up ground as long as you can maintain the line. You only have the phalanx left. The phalanx is about to fall. Heroes, there are no heroes at the front here. Where are they? Reinforcements is coming, but time is running out as... Whoa, I did not see the Wu Wei just clean up the backline there. We also see the companion cavalry is also just making a mess. It's the cavalry and the Wu Wei. The Wu Wei just... Yeah, the Wu Wei just carried the day here. I would love to see the kills on this Wu Wei. Who is he? AP holding. The Wu Wei definitely carried the end there. The companion cavalry is also coming in was clutch. Super clutch. And just the remaining heroes from TLDR just getting killed right now. How many deaths are we looking at? Not that many, in fact. We only got like 2 permadeaths. How about the other side? I did not expect the first assault onto base point to end up in failure. I thought TLDR played that well, but goes to show the Myrmidons did more damage than I thought they did. Definitely underestimating AP. AP winning very strong on the defense as well. What? Obi-Wan Kenobi. AP unit combo? Iron Reapers are there to break formations as well, but it's just like... No, he had two... I don't remember the Myrmidons charging in and then the Iron Reapers charging in. I just saw 2 Myrmidons charging in. Like, maybe I missed it, but I'm pretty sure that the The Meriones did a lot of work there. As we can see, just the units, just a lot of people from TLDR just trying to hold on here. Who was he? Oh man. Yeah, this guy carried the day with the finisher there. As you can see, he probably picked up all of these serfs with it. Not sure. Probably the pike. Yeah, he picked up the pike militia and the men at arms there at the finish. Probably a lot of the metallators as well. Wow. I actually didn't okay. So, yeah. They did lose their advantage, so TLDR did have a unit advantage at the beginning, just from unit selection and stuff. The second battle ending in failure was very surprising to me. And then the second, well, desperate push for the finish. I'm thinking they should have played that slower. The Wu Wei really messed things up in the backline though. Really killing you. Really killed off a big section of your units. But nevertheless, I mean, TLDR is gonna have to hold against AP. Wait, do I have that reversed? Hang on, give me 2 seconds. I have that reversed. No, I have that right. No, never mind. So AP is going to be attacking TLDR on their preferred attack map. Let's see if TLDR can hold against AP, because this is surprising. It feels like TLDR did really well on their attack on Harbor City map, and AP did really well on their defense in the White Elk Fort map when TLDR was the one that chose it to attack. The charge by Merlino broke formation like crazy. There were like two early turns, and the assault was strong. Oh, okay. Yeah, no. The follow-up was the Iron Reaper, but it wasn't so close that, oh, it looked really cool as a combo. Um, the combo timing may have been a bit different for you and me, but like when they pushed in, it was mostly when the Lancelot Knights came in. The the battle was already underway, but the tidal wave of Lancelots coming in, Lancelots could charge by themselves, and it was just that was the real start for the battle for that one for me, or the real clinch where AP was just crushing that front line. It was the cavalry that came through that kind of caused a little bit of havoc. Oh, I totally thought that TLDR did better, but no. It was not the heroes just yet at that time. It's the start of the battle. It's the start of the battle. Maybe it's because little losses here, little losses there. The midway through battle, heroes started dying, but it wasn't like the units they were controlling were dead or in the water. Like the unit from both sides were quite active. The heroes started dying basically when the units battle was already decided. And is that is the difference here. Like TLDR, high kill potential for heroes, but also doing really well with their units. Super good composition, by the way. They took out a lot of units from TLDR in both battles before the finish. Maybe that first push to the A supply, TLD lost quite a lot. I suspect as well, like, I thought TLDR did a little bit better on that push towards supply point, but looking at the history on that, the losses were huge. Twice as much. Second battle, almost twice as much. Maybe 2/3, maybe like AP took about 2/3 as much. It's hard. It's really painful when you just look at the results of those battles. It looks like AP gained, but in retrospect, they lost. Even in that position, like AP looking very strong, taking back that supply point. TLDR rocking up one by one, trying to catch the tail. AP could have turned around and easily ate up maybe those 5 guys that rushed in. I don't know why they didn't do it. Maybe in hindsight, I'm a spectator, and they just called for a retreat. In the end, they did win. Don't get me wrong. In the end, they won. I'm really surprised by the decisiveness of TLDR. Not TLDR, AP. What I'm surprised as well is how TLDR is not winning direct fights. They're splitting up a little bit, but not as much as they did in Harbor City. On their defense, anyway. It's just really surprising. Alright. I was a little bit late in spectating, but nevertheless, here we are on the AP's attack on White Elk Fort. Now, whoa! Just all tier 5s. TLDR, having a split between tier 5s and tier 4s, but my goodness. AP just went straight strength. Yeah. TLDR looked like they were doing okay. Apparently, statistically, AP was winning every single fight. There is none. There is no leadership doctrine. Every single one of these units do not have doctrines on them. But my goodness, double tier 5 setup. Very aggressive, by the way. I have not seen this many tier 5s in a long time. Normally it is a split between tier 5 and tier 4. Tier 4 is almost cheap enough, so where you can get like cheaper tier 5s out on the field and like a second tier 4. Oh, no, that's impossible actually. But yeah, some tier 3s are really cool. Some tier 3s are good and useful, like Halberdiers, but I think Halberdiers are banned. No, Halberdiers are banned. So the fact that... Wow. The fact that more tier 5s aren't coming out, probably a surprise. Some tier 4s are strong. Some tier 4s are strong. I think the Wu Wei is not as strong as okay. Wu Wei Men at Arms and Wu Wei Men at Arms is not as strong as I think people think they are, especially in a no doctrine situation. The Kriegsrat Fusiliers should be okay in this scenario, mostly because there's just so many pike units out on the field. I want to say that people are underestimating how strong tier 5s are compared to the baseline. Like Lancelot Knights, they are super good in the tournament. Iron Reapers will die to Lancelots. In a 1v1, Lancelots win Iron Reapers. I think there's very few matchups where the Lancelot Knights loses. Zweihanders can beat Lancelot Knights, but that's on like a skill. That's a skill check. That's a skill check for Zweihanders. Lancelots can just go straight up against Zweihanders and would probably win. Probably win 8 out of 10 times. Now, taking the same exact route through the back, across the base point, surprisingly. Are they gonna open the way? Ooh, interesting. This is gonna be painful. Mortars? Traps? No. I was seriously thinking that they might have, was gonna put some artillery down. Gonna kill some retreating units. Or gonna try to. Got 2 Lancelots. Not a big pickup, but I mean, it's something. Counter mortar fire from TLDR. Off from the wall. Very interesting spot, by the way. I'm fascinated by the movement from AP right now. TLDR doing well, holding strong. I've seen this hold before as well, but this was on TW. This like AP's doing very similar things that that the enemy that attacked us on Kochi did as we were holding. But this is White Elk Fort, so they kind of pulled all the way to the front here. A bit of a waste of time, but that was good on TLDR's part. Just didn't allow AP to gain an advantage here. Now coming back to some more traditional siege section, though TLDR did commit to an unconventional assault. Now this is what I'm talking about. High pressure, present your units, take the shots. You have more artillery, you can put it down, and you can dish it out. Here comes some Zykeeli Militia Bowls. Cannons. There is a culverin or something? I saw a shot somewhere. Whoa! AP going straight on to the point. Clears up the 2 shield units. Imperial Spear Guards holding back this force. Iron Reapers trying to get onto the force, but they are just outpaced here.
As you command.
Phalanx units are not really great holding unit, but they cleared up the back section. TLDR might see another reversal as... Whoa! Where did those companions come from? Coming out from the supply point. TLDR holding super well here. Lancelot Knights chewing through the enemy forces. But there's still quite even fight. Both sides throwing in new units now. Shenji surprisingly still away. I mean, still alive. TLDR just gets swept into oblivion there, but heavy losses on both sides. I'm going to say slightly up for AP. Only slightly. We're probably looking at like a 300 unit kill for TLDR and probably 300 kills for AP and probably 280? Nah, 270. 270 for AP here. Like, losses. Ah, man. You know what I said. You know what I meant. No, they don't. ECL only has to survive one more fight. After the next fight, the majority of units from AP are going to be lower tier. Yeah, by the looks of it. Oh, man. I think that was an even trade. Oh, no, I take that back. Moon losing both his companions and... Oh, man, they're down. They're down 1. That's very unfortunate. Okay. Just from the looks of it, TLDR down 16 units. AP is down 15 units. It was almost an even trade. It was almost an even trade. Whoa! AP doing wreck shot onto those phalanx, but blue shield coming in clutch. big hit again. Can they see them? 2 big hits on those units, and I mean, they have alchemists out on the field. Those alchemists really needs to start healing up your units before they start dying. Another 2 big hits. 2 units die now. Wu Wei. Whoa, was that a Shenji grenade? I bet that was a Shenji grenade. They want to kill that pocket. We said the mortaring from TLDR was terrifying, but this is terrifying. Every time these guys move, they're getting hit. We probably lost 20 units already. Well, 20 models, by the way. We got plenty of units for both sides. 800. The final attack is probably going to start around about 6 minutes, maybe at 5. But nevertheless, this is brutal. They're getting a lot of damage. Like, you already lost... You lost 8 units from your Forte Braccio. You lost your front line. I mean, there's 4 lines of Forte Braccio block formation, so they lost 8. So I mean, they lost one of their lines. Oh man, this is a bit early. AP coming in, coming up with a straight up formation here. Shenji throw. Where are you throwing? Right onto that phalanx. That phalanx is looking worse for wears, dropping like flies. As that 40 unit goes to 20, starting off super strong. TLDR loses 3 guys instantly. Loses another 2 guys as they just get swept right out. That is a brutal attack if I've ever seen one. Not to mention there were defenders, but they're all dead now. There was a rear charge, but the rear charge does seem to be ineffective as the phalanxes just kind of haste them out there. My goodness. The sheer dominance of that attack switched the kill deficit so hard. Well done, AP. Winning 3-1. Very unfortunate we didn't get to see a field battle, but that was an amazing attack. Coming out super strong. And I will say this. Key units. Phalanx unit is the best addition in last few years. Makes sense. Are not OP, but beautifully assist rest of the game. I wouldn't call them beautifully, like, the Phalanx unit is not OP. I don't believe it's OP. It's a very mid unit. It's not so strong that it's directly competing with meta units. It's definitely good, and when teams make use of them, it is absolutely amazing. But you got these teams working together to easily manhandle the enemy phalanx. TLDR didn't even have a chance to get their phalanxes online. But when it came down to, like, not TLDR. Yeah, TLDR. Like, all of the phalanxes, all of the formations from TLDR just collapses in front of AP. But when AP brings their infantry online, it feels like a stone wall. They have the shields, they have the phalanx, they have the formation. The Shenji grenade at the start as well, like, that completely annihilated one of the phalanxes from TLDR. Like you saw that. Like the phalanx got hit, almost 20 units dropped dead in few seconds. That's a unit of 40. Losing 20 of them in just 2 seconds. Oh my goodness, that would be painful. I know Shenji Grenade is also extraordinarily powerful, and also the Lancelot Knights really can get on top. Really can get on top the phalanx units. You don't have very much space when you need to work with your team. We definitely see a fluctuation of like slower. ACL was known as the Japanese killer. What? When was that ever a thing? Obi-Wan Kenobi, when was that ever a thing? They are just stable wall that's easy to push through if there is no real meat in front or support. But when there are mix of units, phalanxes are just devastating. Hey, don't get me wrong. When phalanxes can make use of their extra range, they have long pikes. They are basically a melee range unit. You use them the exact same as a ranged unit. Just far enough where you can hit the enemy, but not so close that the enemy can hit you back. If you have a meat shield in front of you, excellent. That means you're doing damage for free, basically. I mean, Phalanx improved upon the game, while last season they just reduced the average time to kill of units and replacing previous. Again, true. Very, very true. I don't think that the Phalanx units increase time to kill. In fact, this unit lowered. I mean, sorry. Let's rewind. Time to kill. It increased time to kill, meaning it takes longer to kill stuff. AP was smart. Force ECL to put Artie on the back, then they put Artie to push A. I didn't see that very many Artie coming out from ECL to counter the Artie on the back. I know a couple of them did. Did it really make a difference? AP has 30 Arties compared to TLDR's 15. They probably, I mean, each of the Artie can be extraordinarily crucial. And it goes to show that it is very crucial. But the resources available for AP is just a big difference. I want to just say it's the Shenji. The Shenji from AP that really came in and just the bomb after bomb really dictating the fight for AP. I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised if we had a look at one of the guys with the Shenji. He would probably have a ton of kills. Like, this is probably the guy who killed the the Sun with Phalanx. This is probably the Shenji guy. He probably hit the Phalanx and got those 18 kills. Easily. Handedly. Surprisingly, Hu Moon having top spot here, even though he lost both of his units early on. Like, he had 2 cavalry dead, and he still came up on top. Cav good. Yeah, he probably used his cavalry well. 44 Lancelot Knights. Just goes to show you how many Lancelot Knights AP brought along. But yeah, that first fight. Even a slight difference. It was basically a trade. Basically a trade. Really good for TLDR. Because most of the units from TLDR are tier 5. So to get an even trade like this, it's actually really difficult. Because, what? Tier 5 are 20% more expensive? Probably 25% more expensive? In the end, the bombardment was quite It was okay, looking at the kills. They probably took heavy damage, for sure. There is no lower bracket, unfortunately. Well, there is, technically. It's to decide who's third. It's to decide who's third. Regardless, I think I've underestimated AP a lot. I haven't seen very many of the battles, by the way. So to see them like this, to see them how strong they are, I'm expecting great things when I get to see them again. I'm excited to watch some more battles from TLDR. Anyway, I believe that is all for the APAC quarterfinals for today. Right now, the Conqueror's Blade devs are doing the EU knockout stage. Ew! Alright. You don't have to follow us, Alice. I'm gonna send you over to the Conqueror's Blade devs, but anyway, let me just quickly close up for today. So we have finished up the second day for the quarterfinals. We will be seeing everyone on the 16th, which is the Friday. So we have about 5 days before the next battle begins, and this will be the semi-finals. So we'll get to see... So, just to recap the entirety of the quarterfinals. SKT versus BOD. I believe... Man, I forgot who won now. Okay, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm probably going to misremember this really easily. SKT winning between... SKT won in the quarterfinals. DOC versus VNH, with DOC winning in the quarterfinals. We have YYY versus MKT. YYY winning in their quarterfinals. And we have just watched AP versus TLDR. So AP will move on to the semifinals. So we should be watching. SKT versus Doc for the first battle, and then YYY versus AP for the second battle. Why do they have 2 days for the semifinals? Oh, what? They're only watching one battle each? That's really bad. Very old clip. Something went wrong.
Oh, sword damage is fucking shit. I mean, long sword. How? What the fuck? How is he climbing his horse on the tower?
That's funny. Anyway, oh, so that's really okay. So on the 17th, there'll be only one battle. It'll be at 6 o'clock, unless we'll be able to see the Chinese one, which starts at 4:30. Then on the 8th, no, that's the 17th, so the 16th, yeah, whatever. Yeah. Let me close this up. Anyway, on the 16th, we should be seeing the two teams that won yesterday. I believe it's SKT, and I believe it's going to be Doc, so it'll be going to SKT versus Doc. On the 17th, we should see the second one, which is YYY versus AP. And so it's going to be 5 days until the next set of battles. So I hope you guys enjoyed tonight. I'm going to send you over to the Conqueror's Blade devs. But nevertheless, I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. But other than that, my name's Asukai. Have a nice day. Bye for now.